Howdy, folks. Well, today's the day. I got a chance to look underneath the belly of the of Grace, the '67 Monaco 500 440 Magnum L code car. And first thing that I see, turn signal lens is melted. So I'll put that on the Christmas wish list for sure. All right. Okay. Let's see what else we can find. So the owner prior to the guy I bought it from, Mark, actually in Campbell River, BC, yeah, he did the front shocks and the back shocks. Nice big giant sway bar for a 440. I see there's new flex hoses. Brand new Bud calipers. Look at that. New steel lines going through them. Don't see any leakage, which is good. Well, she's a typical old car. You got some oil leaks. Now the engine is turquoise. Now being a Canadian-built car, I'm not sure, if that is correct or not. But anyways, nothing to worry about at this point. Right now, we got to make sure that the car drove fine. So just make sure everything is mechanically sound. So we don't have to pass safety inspection for the province or state, whichever you want to call it. All right, looks good there. Power steering is leaking up there. There we go. Yep. So that may have to be addressed. All right. Looks like the valve covers have been leaking. Way up there. Yep. There's some seepage from there. That starter looks new. Looks like very little paint on the block. Being a BC car, frame rails are absolutely mint. They are solid. No rust. Floorboards, no holes, no patches whatsoever. Okay, so the casting date. Let's see if I can get that on camera. Here we are. 666. Let's see. Can't get the rest of it, but anyways, she is an early build car based on the this order number. The exhaust has been done. Got a set of Flowmasters on there. They're nice. Just gonna have to live with them for now until I decide, if I ever decide to change them out. Wow, the rockers are nice. We got the old school 2-post in-ground hoist, which is just as old as, if not older than the car itself. All right. Usually to be a flange here, but I guess it rotted away, so they cut and welded on there. It's all right. Hey, it works. So does the parking brake works. So you use a couple of hangers and throw them. They actually welded them to the floor, which is good. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at those heavy-duty springs. Now she still has the original dual exhaust tailpipes and hangers. New gas tank. New sending unit. There's a ground wire on there, but the gauge is flatlined. And, whoa, little dent in the tank there. Nice. New drums, new lines. Oh, what do we have here? We have a tag. Let's see what that tag says. She's a sure grip. Let's see. Oh yeah, she's sure grip. And it probably still is the 323s that she came with, not sure. The hangers are fine. It's hanging on there. Well, I have a replacement anyways for that. Looks like it backed into something one time or another. That's to be expected. New tires. Now you can see many years ago they actually cut the lower dog legs and put in some metal in here, as you can see. All right, just fine. One less thing I have to worry about. A little metal there. This side was cut out a little bit as well. Nothing major, but looks to be an older repair. And of course, you know, when you look, the stainless and the trim kind of hides it, so that's good for me. All right. Now it looks like to be a hitch here on the car one time or another based on those holes. And those holes. So maybe, oh yeah, and there's a little rust stain here on the bumper where the brackets used to be. So maybe they ordered the 440s for towing, which is quite common. Well, we had some passengers all the way from BC to Ontario by the looks of that. So this is a sign that the car did do some sitting. I was speaking to Mark a couple of nights ago on the phone. According to him, he's got some documentation he's going to share with me down the road. The car was in the same family from new up until 1996. And then it was passed on. And then he got the car in 2000. So, and then he's the one that actually did all the work on it. And he only drove it around the block, and he sold it to the guy that I bought it from. And the guy I bought it from, he put about 4,000 or 5,000 miles on the car in about less than 2 years. All in all, pretty good. Wow. As you see, I'm quite amateurish when it comes to the camera, but anyways. I'm just quite, 742. 742, 323s. Yeah. The transmission has been serviced. And the speedo was pretty much bang on too, by the way. Based on a GPS the other night. Well, before it got dark anyways, I couldn't see it after the dash lights burned out. Looks to be a new idler arm on there as well. So I got some oil leaks I have to fix up in due time. But the major mechanicals have been done. Sometimes you pay a little more to get a lot more back. That's for sure. Now, as I mentioned, the fuel pump, the lines are hanging on barely. I have to address that for sure. All right. It's okay for now, but I really don't want to go down the road like that. That's for sure. All right. And of course, you know, the engine's painted the wrong color, but that's a cosmetic thing. The belts do squeal a little bit, so I have to get the better belts. They work for the time being. And luckily, the power steering pump is not leaking. It's bone dry. Let me see if I can get a picture of that. There we are. So that's not leaking. It's the steering box itself. Not surprised. All right. Pretty good. New hoses. Radiator seems to be in okay condition. So there's the overflow hose. We're going to have to reattach that to the overflow bottle. I'd much rather have an overflow bottle anyways. Right. There's the cover for the air. to get to the radiator, part of the heavy duty cooling package. Yeah. That one is good. We'll have to be on the hunt for that one. Nice. Very happy. Solid car. And it rides tight too. I got some squeaks and rattles from the interior trim pieces and the console, but there's no other squeaks or rattles, that are mechanically related. Right. The car has been painted one time or another, obviously, but it's been done a good job and it's holding up well. You can see where the repair was done there. Very little paint on that, so might have to do something with that. Right. You see all the old school spot welds. There we go. You see all the old school spot welds tacked in the sheet metal. All right. I kind of like the old tailpipes, to be honest with you. They're pretty cool. All right. The way they're bent up and bent down. Pretty neat. Okay, that's it for now. I'm going to bring her down and check out a few electrical things.